Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever you are. And let's start our session working as a statistician in the healthcare industry. And all of us are from Eli Lilly. And today we have three panelists. Actually, Ellen cannot be here because due to some family issues, but three of us, Tiffany, Ying, and me, Zhihong, myself, we will have this talk today. And first, we'd like to introduce ourselves. And Tiffany, can you go first? Tiffany, you need to unmute your speaker. Okay. We cannot hear you, Tiffany.
The corner is unmute and you click on it.
Can you hear us, Tiffany?
Tiffany, can you please check in your audio settings if you have chosen the right microphone, the one you're using? Because probably Zoom is using another microphone, probably.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Arrow next to your microphone, you can go to sound settings.
There's audio and you maybe you need to check a headphone or the say assistant, whichever.
When you go to the arrow, you will see select a microphone. Probably you have the wrong one checked.
So you can, okay. I think let's just keep talking and then Tiffany will join later. Care providers, payer, and company itself need timely insights on medicine, patient population, and healthcare practice beyond what is known from clinical trials. So this also, help to differentiate our medicine from other treatment, so that payers and patients and doctors understand when and how to use this medicine and the expected patient benefit. So in all those activities, our statisticians collaborate with internal and external stakeholders. Internally, we work with cross-functional team, for example, medical colleagues, project manager, site management, data management, programmer, and medical writer. Externally, we work with regulators, payers, and key opinion leaders, healthcare providers, and patient groups. So you can see collaboration and communication are very important to be a statistician in the medical company. And another thing I want to point out is that since we work in a medical company, in addition to statistical knowledge, we also need to build therapeutic area knowledge, understand the disease states and treatment guideline and competitive landscape. This is also important to become a statistician in medical company. So just give a very brief image of a statistician working in a medical company. So, Tiffany, can you speak now? No. Yin, do you have anything to add on this question?
Zhihong almost give us a very whole picture of how a statistician will be. And one of the points she pointed out is that be a very good communicator, which I want to emphasize a little bit more. As from my experience as a statistician in China, and we were most of the time being called the sample size calculator from the cross functions. They always ask what will be the sample size for this clinical trial. As I mentioned, I mainly focus on the later phase. So the sample size is very important. It will connected with the cost, with the enrollment window, and also the exposure will be enough for giving the safety exposure will assure the regulatory bodies. So in that sense, so at the beginning of my career, I'm not that much realized that a good communicator will help you a lot in your whole career development. So yeah, that's what I want to see and want to say. And a little bit is the thing that Zhihong also mentioned, that probably we got a PhD degree in math, in statistics, or in biostatistics. We have a little background in medicine and in pharmacology or pharmacodynamics, but I think we should stay curious about everything that's needed in our everyday work. We should learn more about the other disease knowledges. Then we can have which should also enhance our communication with the cross-function members. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Ying. Yeah, let's try. Technically, can you speak now?
I can. Can you hear me?
Okay, great. Yeah.
Apologies,
Do you have
everyone,
any?
for this.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think Ying and Zhihong have covered it all, and since and in the interest of time, I would like to keep it very short. So what we do as statisticians, from my understanding, is that we provide statistical inputs to life cycle of the entire drug development, and to do that, we involve from the beginning. Firstly, we understand the clinical question that we have about the drug or the indication or the therapeutic area that we are working on, and then when we understand it, we start plan and design the trials. And during the course of the trial and at the end of the trial, we have the clinical data that we analyze and then interpret the results. And I think they have already mentioned this, but we don't do this alone. We do it in collaboration with doctors, researchers, regulatory experts, and everyone else. To talk about statisticians and biostatistics in we have been distributed in various therapeutic areas, our core ones being diabetes, oncology, immunology, neurodegeneration, and pain. And we come from various countries of the world. We are headquartered at Indianapolis, USA, but we are also here at India, Bangalore, Ireland, France, China, and I think I won't take another second on this. We can move on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kathleen. Ying, can you move to the next question we want to discuss? Yeah. Are there any difference across countries? Yeah, maybe I will give a very brief talk about that. And after that, Ying and Kathleen will give us some detail. Let's reply to this question. Yeah, because, you know, in Lilly, it's a global company. So our statistician in headquarters, they usually work on one compound and support countries all the world. So in corporate center, the statistician, usually they focus on one compound or one therapeutic area, and they can get very deep knowledge on this disease area and on all the clinical trials related to this compound, and all about like a competitive landscape across countries. On the other hand, the statistician work in an affiliate, like me in Japan and in China. Usually we have a very limited head count. So we need to work on several compounds and sometimes across therapeutic area at the same time. So we need some high level knowledge of the drug and clinical trials, but we may not have such deep knowledge as our global colleagues. But the important point is that we need to know the local regulations very well in order to submit our document to regulators, whatever is a CTD submission or health technology assessment dossier. So I think in a global company, role in the headquarter and affiliate are very different. Yeah, that's my understanding from the two roles. Maybe Yin, you can introduce more about China stats in
So as a statistician in China, my observation is that I can see that for our statisticians in global, once they have a question or some or clinical question they want to answer, they always refer to FDA guidance. That's a bunch of thousands of guidance that you can search and you can refer to. But for China, because we just joined the ICH 7 years ago, so it's like a little brother compared to other mature record bodies. So we usually cannot get a solid answer from our regular body. So we need to submit questions, simple questions, and hope we can get answer from them. But because of the China regular body, we have limited resource, but they are facing a lot of submissions because all the multinational companies, they want to submit their package here in China, and they are also facing the local submissions, local companies submissions, but they have limited resources. So usually we cannot get a very solid answer from the record body. So for statisticians, we are working in China. One of the things is that we should learn from FDA's guidance or EMA's guidance and Japan's experience in the guidance, and learn from our more experienced and seasoned statisticians from other countries. That's one of my observations. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yin. Attendees, do you want to add something on this question?
No, I think you've covered mostly. Thank you.
Okay, if so, let's move to the next question. What would you suggest to statisticians who want to work in healthcare industry? Yeah, Attendees, will you like to go first?
Yeah. So I think from my experience, when you're a statistician in a pharma company, rather than just focusing on the work that you have been assigned, also take interest in the big picture of the indication or the drug that you're working on. That will make your work more meaningful. From my experience, that did not happen on the first day when I joined my previous organization and had just started my career as a pharma statistician. I was only focusing on the work that came to me. But with time, when I started taking leadership, when I got more responsibilities, I took more interest in what is happening in the background and what am I doing. And I started asking questions like, why am I doing this and where is this going? So then with time, my interest increased and I understood the purpose, and now my work is way more meaningful. So even with the skills that we work on, our statistical skills, we should take interest on the bigger picture. That's from my experience. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yin, do you want to go next for this question? Oh, maybe Yin is freezed. Whoa. Yin, can you hear me? It looks like some internet issue. Yin, can you hear me? No. Okay, maybe I will go first. Okay, for this question, I think I would like to introduce a book named Building Our Career as a Statistician. And I think I can, let me share my, I think we lost in. Let me share my screen. Yeah, it looks like there are a lot of technical issue here. Okay, let me share. Let me share. Okay, sure. Okay, yeah, for this one, I think yeah, I would like to introduce a book which is called a practical guide, building your career as a statistician. Yeah, I think this is a very good book. Yeah, this book focuses on non-statistical aspects of being a statistician. They are crucial for success. And this book introduced 7 fundamental principles, including productivity, innovation, communication, and critical thinking, influence, leadership, working relationship, and career planning. Here, I would like to emphasize the importance of statistical leadership and continual learning. Throughout the life cycle of drug development, my experience is that we should utilize our statistical experience to lead scientific strategic discussion, because our statistician can provide objective and robust evidence to support decision making. And another point is to continue learning all your life. As you know, new statistical methodology keep coming, and treatment for disease is advancing, and regulator in each country, they also keep changing. So we need to update our knowledge in all aspects in all our lifetime. So I think statistical leadership and continual learning are important to work in our healthcare industry. So in your bag, do you have any suggestion for this question? Yin, can you hear us? Maybe, no? Maybe there's some technical issue. Okay, if, maybe we just go to the final slides. Any questions? Actually, I cannot see any questions.
We have one on the chat if you want me to.
Yes, please. I cannot see the question.
Yes, there's a question from Praveen. What are the skills required for a fresh graduate statistician to enter into the industry?
Tiffany, do you want to answer the question?
Yeah. So if you say fresh graduate from my academics, I understand undergraduate and postgraduate. So in postgraduate degree, you could either have a major in India. I'm talking about, if you could either have a major in biostatistics or pure statistics, anything would do. You need to have very good skills on estimation, inference, Bayesian, missing data if you can, and also the basic concepts that we have been learning from undergraduate. Sometimes it's not that we do a lot of major fancy statistical analyses. Sometimes it's the basic ones that we have done in our undergraduate, but still need to revise a bit. That said, also some programming skills would be necessary. SAS or R, even Python is coming into picture nowadays. So yeah, that's my answer. Anything you want to add, Xinghang?
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Yeah. And I think we also have 2 other questions. Now I just read the question, and a question is about, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the role of machine learning and generative AI in the day-to-day work of biostatistician. Has Lily implemented any of these technologies, and how do you see them being integrated into routine biostatistical tasks in the future? Yes, I think Lily also, very, proactive to implement the machine learning and the generative AI in our daily work. Like we are trying to, use the AI to write protocol and SAP and also study report. Yeah, I think if we can do that in future, they will, save our resource, and we can use our more time to do some innovative work in future. Yeah, for the daily work, also we use AI and machine learning. And also in my role, because I focus on big data in the RWE, real world evidence. in that case, we try to use machine learning in to try to find the data, to get the insights from the big data using like machine learning and the AI method in our daily work. Also, there's another point I want to share with us. Technically, do you have anything or anything you want to add on?
Nothing from my end, Zihong, thank you. But just one last thing I want to add, that there's a follow-up question that comes with it, that in future would we need less statisticians and more machine learning and AI? Will AI come and do the work that a statistician does? I would say no. We would still need.
I don't think so. Yeah, but if we use more AI machine learning, we can use our more time to do some innovative things. Then we can get more innovative job in future. So I don't think we will reduce. Routine work will be reduced, but we can focus more on innovative work.
Less redundant work and more innovation with the use of AI.
Right. That's the direction our company want to go. And I think we are almost the top of the time. Maybe I just give over to our host. Thank you very much for all you attend this session. Thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye, everyone.